In this week's video, I'm going to walk you through the steps that I take to make my own dominoes out of hardwood. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Jason Bent, and this week I want to walk you through the steps on how you can make your own dominoes using scrap hardwood that you have in your shop. So with that, I want to show you how you can take some scraps. Maybe you're in a pinch. Maybe you ran out of dominoes, you need to make some dominoes. Maybe it's the weekend and the store's closed. Maybe you're doing a project and you realized, holy crap, I don't have any of these dominoes that I need. Well, I'm going to show you how you can make them regardless of the size that you have, and then later on down the road, if you ever find yourself in a pinch or you want to do something cool and have contrasting woods, you'll know how to do it. Let's just go ahead and jump into this video. And this video will be fairly short because it's pretty straightforward. This right here is your typical domino, and this is an 8x50 domino. And these are made out of beech. And so because this is the one that I have, this is the one that we're going to replicate. I'm going to use this walnut scrap right here to go ahead and create a few 8mm dominoes. And then this is just another chunk of offcut walnut. I'm just going to put some 8mm domino holes in the end, and we'll go ahead and put them in there just so you can see the fit. And I'll also kind of walk you through how I make sure that the different pieces fit properly. So why would you want to cut your own dominoes? Well, there's a few reasons. One, what if I wanted to have some sort of contrast and maybe do a through domino, say walnut dominoes on oak? Or what if I wished that I could have longer than a 50mm domino? Maybe I want to plunge to 28mm on each side and have a slightly longer domino. Or maybe I want to make bigger tenons, right? So the domino machine does what? It cuts mortises. So this is the standard size mortise. This is the medium size mortise, and this is the large size mortise. If you look here, that's the standard fit. It's nice and tight. This one here obviously gives you a little bit of flexibility left and right. And then this gives you a lot of flexibility left and right. But what if I wanted to make wider tenons? Well, that's where learning how to make your own for different applications could come in handy. So what I'm going to show you in this video for just the standard size domino using a piece of scrap hardwood that you have laying around in your shop, consider those same techniques and how you can incorporate larger tenons using your domino. So there's a few different tools that I'm going to use in this video and demonstrate. You can do this lots of different ways. I'm going to start at the bandsaw. And the reason I'm going to start at the bandsaw is because this piece right here is about 3/4 of an inch. Well, a 50mm domino, this is a setup block I'm going to use to set this up. But an 8mm domino is a little bit under 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so why waste all of that material? So I'm going to resaw this piece to get it closer, so when I run it through the drum sander, or if you're going to run it through the planer, you just don't have as much material to take off and you're not wasting as much. And the great thing is I could probably use this if I ever wanted to make 4mm or 5mm dominoes in the future. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, because I'm going to resaw this, I don't need this to be perfect. I'm just using this as a guide just to make sure that I'm roughly that thickness away. Set my fence. We're good to go. And now I can even test it. If I put my domino back there, you'll see that there's plenty of space there. So I have a little bit that I need to take off, but it's going to give me the opportunity to walk into the perfect fit. So I'll go ahead and get this thing cut. All right, so here is our domino, and like I said before, this is an 8mm domino, and I'm just going to do a quick measurement. And so it's reading 8.04, as you can see. So that is my guide, and obviously, you know, it's going to be 8mm because that's what the domino is. But I'm going to use these digital calipers. You don't need these. You could just compare it to this. But I'm going to use these digital calipers, kind of just my guide. I'm actually going to shoot for slightly under 8.04. because I like it to be a slightly looser fit, and that helps with the glue and everything else. So the technique that I'm going to use is I'm going to run this through the drum sander, as I mentioned before. You can use a planer and stuff, but when you have really thin stock, this is where a drum sander is really nice. Another option that you do have is just cutting the right thickness at the table saw. The problem is sometimes if you're too far under, you don't have as much of an ability to walk into it in a safe manner. So this is going to be a fairly safe technique. But like I said, there's plenty of other ways you can do it. So I'm going to run this through, and I'm just going to be checking the measurement as we go. So the next thing that we have to do is actually cut this to the proper width, right? So we need to have it the correct width of the slot for the domino. Now, before I do that, I want to just test and make sure that this fits the way that I want. For me, that's exactly how I like it. I like it just slightly under, because that area will get filled in with glue once I go to put in my domino. It could probably be a little bit tighter, but I'm totally fine with this. With dominoes, as most people know, is a lot of times how tight they actually fit and how hard they are to get in and out. This is one that I've used quite a few times for dry fits, so they actually slide in fairly easily. But this is going to work just fine, so now we're going to go ahead and cut this so it matches the width of the actual domino. So we'll take the domino and the strap over to the table saw, and I'll show you how I do that. All right, the way that I like to do this is I kind of just take the domino and line it up against the couple of the teeth here. That's my guide, and I'm just going to bring the fence over, lock it down. When the teeth are hitting it, it should just move a little bit, and that'll really assist with the fit. So I've got that set, and to make this cut, I'm going to do it safely using this gripper and the thin rip guide, and so I'll just kind of push it through, make the cut. So what we're going to do now, if you look at this domino, you can tell that obviously it has a slight rounded profile, almost a pointed profile. Well, the good news is that that profile is right around 1/8 of an inch. And so the bit that I'm going to use for this task, this is the 1/8 inch round over bit. This is from Bits and Bits, and I'll leave a part number down in the corner now. But we're going to use this to create our rounded profile. And I'm just going to run this through all 4 sides, and then we'll go do a test fit. All right, now we do a test fit, and it fits really, really nicely. So now that we've gotten this far, obviously the only thing left to do is to actually cut the length that we need. Now we need to just cut a couple of these, and so the holes were 25 millimeters deep, so let's just say, you know, this is a 50 millimeter domino. It's going to go into both. When I do this, I'll actually cut them a little bit shorter, right? So I'm just going to cut it right here. It's just a rough measurement. And I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to cut it like that. I'd rather be a little bit short than a little bit long, because a little bit short, my joint would still close up. A little bit long, it won't. So I'm just going to go over to the bandsaw, cut these. You can cut these at the miter saw. It really doesn't matter. You can cut them whatever length you want, but I'll get 2 of them cut. We'll toss them in the end of the board, and that'll be the end. Anywhere that you're going to be doing repeated cuts, like let's say I needed to cut a lot of these, you can obviously set a stop, just something so you can continue to move over. But since this is just 2, we're just going to use the pencil marks. All right, got our dominoes cut. Walnut dominoes for a walnut board. That is all there is to it. I just wanted to zoom in for a quick second just to show you what the fit is. For those of you that are wondering, you know, how tight of a fit is it? So as you can see, it's filling that slot perfectly. And the great thing about this is I can adjust, like I can walk into this however I need to, but the fit is very good. All right, everybody, so by following a few really simple steps, you can create your own hardwood dominoes. I gotta be honest, 9 times out of 10, I'm just using the standard dominoes because it's a lot easier, but every once in a while I have those projects where I wanna add something cool, you know, through dominoes, or maybe make larger tenons, and understanding how you can go about making your own can be really, really helpful for certain applications. That's all I have for you this week. I will be doing a through domino video following this one because a lot of people have asked me to do this video, and a lot of people have asked me to do a through domino video showing how I do it. So I'm excited about that. That's going to be coming out real soon. As always, everybody, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to find out more about me or what it is that I do, head over to my website, bentswoodworking.com. Until next time, everybody, get out in the shop, try something new, and I'll see you in the next video.